And we are back on WGN-TV Political Report. Council members are convinced they're close to getting the 41 votes they need to pass new boundaries for all of Chicago's 50 wards. But Alderwoman Michelle Harris, overseeing the remap process this year, warns no one's going to get exactly what they want. We've talked extensively about the battle between Latino and black aldermen, the first group facing an influx of new residents all across the city. A map being pushed by the Latino caucus creates 15 Latino majority wards. Under the plan, black aldermen could lose at least 2 of their current 18 wards. According to the 2020 census data, the city lost a stunning amount of black residents, nearly 85,000 over 10 years. For the most part, the mayor is refusing to get involved. She wants the public to look at any proposal before it gets a vote. But with 9 days left until the deadline, it's not clear if that's going to happen.
I don't think it's a time for me to be involved just yet. I want to see how the process plays out. Obviously, I'm aware of the back and forth, some of which is public, some of which has not been public, but it's not for me to put my imprint on a particular map. These are very sensitive issues.
As we told you last week, one group that is fighting for their representation in this map reround is Chicago's Asian American population. With a gain of 45,000 new residents this decade, Asian Americans now account for nearly 7% of the city's population. Latino black aldermen say it's only fair to give them their own ward, likely focused here near Chinatown and the changing Bridgeport neighborhood. I spoke with Grace Chan McKibben, executive director of the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community, about the challenges the community wants addressed. Grace, good morning. Thanks for being with me. You know, Chinese immigrants have been in Chicago for 150 years, and now Asian Americans, 7% of the population here in the city. Why has there not been a greater influence of that population before now?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, as you said, you know, the Asian American population has been in Chicago since for the past 150 years. In fact, the Chinatown, as we know it, has been around since 1912, so 110 years. I think the reason that we haven't heard a lot about Asian American influence, one is that Asian Americans are often seen as invisible. We are often seen as folks that are quiet, keep to ourselves, and don't make any waves. And also, sometimes people think that Asian Americans are always foreigners, regardless of how long I've been here or how long my parents or grandparents have been here. People assume that we're always going back to the old country.
And let me just be fair about this. We're talking about Asian Americans, although it's this unified group like anybody is. When we're talking, and it is true, there are several areas of the city where Asian population is strong, but it's Vietnamese, it's Korean, it's Chinese, it's Thai, it's Filipino, right? And there are different interests. Is there a way of sort of saying for the Asian community with regard to city council, here are the things we are concerned about?
Yeah, Asian Americans represent people from 40 different countries, different languages, cultures, traditions. So you're absolutely right that I care very much about the fact that I'm Chinese American and I practice some of the cultures and traditions. But I think as a group, we have several things that unify us. One is the need for language access. A lot of folks speak a different language at home, so they're more comfortable speaking Chinese, Hindi, Thai, whatever at home. And so the need for language access to government services, to business services, and so on is important. The other thing is that education, family is important. There's also a lot of small business interests within this community. So there are several policy issues that we feel like we can come together on.
And there's sort of 2 components to this. One is being able to consolidate Asian American communities so that they have a stronger voice. And the other one is to have an alderman who's Asian American. So a 2-part question. Number one, has the splintering of that population, do you think it's been intentional or just the way it is because they're more concerned about other groups? And number 2, does centralizing the wards help, or do you need Asian American true representation on city council?
So first and foremost, we're interested in consolidating the Asian Americans, regardless of who the alderman is, right? Just so that we can have one office for residents to talk to. The splintering makes it difficult. The ordinary resident that doesn't know a lot about government doesn't know that they live in the 25th versus 11th versus the 12th ward. They're always asking, where should I go to ask about this parking ticket or to get the snow removed and so on. So I think that's the practical reason. And secondly, about the Asian Americans that are on the southwest side in the greater Chinatown area, is actually largely Chinese Americans because it's the Chinatown residents growing along the Archer Avenue. So there is definitely a common interest definitely a community of interest in terms of a common language and common culture.
With regard to the Asian American ward, the Latino caucus already seems open to carving out a section that would have Asian representation. The Black caucus, we haven't seen their map yet, but we'll see what they have to say. But is that going to be enough? Is that enough for the Asian American community if Latino and or the Black caucus say, okay, we'll give you this space?
We're actually very encouraged that both the Latino caucus and the Black caucus have publicly said that they are supportive of a majority Asian American ward. But, politics being the way it is, we don't know until the vote, right? So we are still keeping up all the conversations, keeping up all the public discourse to make sure that we are able to be successful in getting an Asian American ward.
I think a lot of people naively think like Chinatown is where all of Asian Americans are. It's so not true. But it was interesting because regarding Chinatown, David Wu, the founder of the Puitok Center, has said that Chinatowns nationwide, San Francisco, New York, that they are really undergoing gentrifications in those cities, but it's not happening in Chicago. This is different. Why is that?
There are two reasons. One is, as I mentioned, Chinatown in Chicago started in 1912. The original Chinatown that was older than that was actually near downtown, was actually on Clark and Van Buren. So from that standpoint, the original Chinatown is like the Chinatown in DC, in New York, and so on, very close to the center of the city. But because of gentrification at that time, the Chinese Americans were being pushed out and they found a spot that is further away from downtown. And that led to the possibility of growing in population because there was land, because it has been more availability of land and more availability of housing moving along the Archer Avenue route going south and going west. And so I think that allows for the growth. Secondly, we have very strong institutions. We have strong social services such as the Puitok Centers, such as Chinese American Service League, and that allows residents to be able to continue living in this area and have the services they need.
Just briefly, it seems as though with regard to housing, Chinatown here has become more of a commercial district. So having these other areas of the city grow in housing would be important, I would think.
Very important. So people think about Chinatown as just the business district, but folks that are residents that are living in this area actually are living, as I said, mostly in Bridgeport and now into McKinley Park as well. So having affordable housing is important. We've seen rising rents, we've seen rising mortgages, and we've seen rising property taxes. So one of the next projects is really to figure out how to provide affordability for the residents.
Finally, as we get ready for the final maps, how hopeful are you?
Very hopeful. I think we mentioned the support from the Latino caucus and from the Black caucus, and we've also been engaging with individual aldermen and alderwomen, and we've gotten a lot of support, and so we are very hopeful. But again, I said, well, being cautiously hopeful because it's not over until the vote, so we're continuing these conversations.
All right, Grace Chan McKibben, we are going to follow this process along with you. We wish you luck in your effort to increase the influence of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.